This is 1/2 meters off the roll, and that's 50 centimeters. And I'm just going to make this 30 centimeters wide. If I measure 30 centimeters across, so from there, keep that. It always looks angled on the computer, I've noticed. So I'm going to mark 30 centimeters. That's my 30 centimeter mark there. Just match the dots with your ruler. There's one, there's one, there's one. And just whiz the rotary cutter all along the edge. Like that. So that's my, so there we go. So that's 2 pieces of fabric cut 30 centimeters and it's 50 centimeters long. Now I've got some wadding here. I'm going to lay that down. I'm going to put one of the sheets of fabric on top there, like that. And I'm going to just cut around it. You can see that the end over there hasn't been cut straight. That's okay, we can straighten that up. So I'm just follow this line across, and there we go. That's all nice and straight. So you can see it's nicely wadded, isn't it? The reason I'm using a plain fabric underneath is because this is a cute fabric. It costs £20 a metre, and I don't really want to lose it in a item that's not going to, where it's not going to be shown. So if I cut 2 pieces like this out, then I can make 2 of these. There we go. And actually this calico that I have really does complement the fabric, doesn't it? Right, actually the next piece that I cut, what I'm going to do is make 2 pockets from that. So I'm going to have a pocket here at the bottom, and the pocket only needs to be 20 centimeters. And because I want it nice on the inside, I'm going to cut a 40 centimeter piece. So pocket's going to be half of that, isn't it? So pocket goes like that. Just there, and I'll cut around that. Right, there we go. So that wadding is going to go inside there. On the other 2, I've made small pockets like that there. But on this one, I can make 1 long pocket going right across the bottom. So I'm going to make sure that the wadding sits dead centre of the piece that I fold in half, like that. And if it's all sitting nicely, just make sure it's fine. Don't worry about it too much if you've made it a little bit too big like me. Don't force too much in. Let's grab our pins and put lots of pins in. Now, like I said, we're only top stitching the top edge, which means I can put lots of pins in this way, and the fabric will not creep. Now, if you're traditional, you would probably want to sew this with a hand tack all the way around. And can you see what the pins do? It makes it really bumpy. That's why I don't like to have too many pins in the area I'm sewing, because then it distorts the shape. So I'm going to do a top stitch now. And the top stitch, I'm going to place 1/2 centimetre away from the fold at the top. So if I draw a 1/2 centimetre there, and keep it nice and steady, what I can do is I'm going to put it in the machine this way. So I'm going to mark 1/2 centimetre there. And that will give me the first placement line. And I'll know where to place it in the foot, because the foot is not metric. The foot is not metric. So it looks like that edge of the fabric sits exactly where I need it to be. So I'm going to just follow it all the way down, and I'm going to loosen the pressure, tension a little bit. So it's on 4 at the moment. I'm going to decrease it to 3. That will mean that the thread will come through a little bit more freely. Now, because I'm also doing a top stitch, I'm going to increase the length to 4, the stitch length to 4. So I've got nice longer stitches. Let's lock it. There we go. And keeping that fabric to the edge there. And then lock those stitches down. And there we go. So you can see how, can you see how the fabric gets pulled and it sits a lot lower than before. So loosening the tension makes it a little bit less noticeable. Now we just need to place the little pocket on the front like we said we would. I'm going to place it just there. I'm going to pin that just to the pocket at the top there. So what I've noticed with this pocket is that when I've sewn it, the fabric's misaligned. The wadding has creeped. So what's happened now is the back sits further down than the front, and you can see it better from the side. So first we need our wadding. On top of the wadding we're going to place our main fabric, like that. Make sure it all sits evenly. Happy with that? Next pocket, make sure the cuts are the right way round, and then lay the next layer of pocket. Make sure it's all even on the sides. Unbelievably easy project, because the next thing we need to do is just lay the calico on the back or on the top, and we put it on top because we flip through. We always sew inside out, don't we? And then we flip through. Now we're doing this on a serger overlocker. Do you ever have that debate, overlocker and serger? Well, a serger is a trimming machine, isn't it? Something that trims. So when you serge something, you're trimming, aren't you? And we call in the UK overlockers. Funnily enough, we don't call them sergers. But I'm quickly adapting because a lot of people refer to sergers as sergers and overlockers as overlockers and sergers. Keep all the pins away from the edge. The reason you keep it all away from the edge is because we're going to overlock all in one go. Wide as 10 centimetres. Actually, I'll make it a little bit wider. I'll make it about 13, 14. We'll make it that wide. This washes away, so don't worry about the marks. It's not the same as a Sharpie. Should have used that before. Let's serge over there. If you find you don't have the dexterity to use these heavy pins, you can thread a needle so it's doubled like that, because you might not have these long pins, so the little pins aren't going through it at all. So just go in and out and do huge stitches if you want to. And it's just really there to hold the wadding in place. And we don't have to use the pins, and what you'll see, that tacking it down into place like this will get rid of those lumps and bumps. This time I'm going to leave the edge of the fabric on the edge of the foot. And then pivot round. We're using a 4-thread overlock, 4 threads on the back. All the tensions are set to 4. Brother overlockers have a factory setting at 4. I have my differential feed at 1, and I have my stitch allowing a stitch at 3. 3 is fine. I might actually turn it up to 4. I want to see what it looks like. And that's it really. Oh, the knife. So you always need to have a little practice. So practice on the fabric or on a similar fabric. You see my blue line in there? I'm going to start there. I'm going to serge to the end. And I can see there are slight loops. So I'm increasing my stitch to 4, and I'm going to increase the knife. So move it over there a little bit, because if I move it over, what will happen is less of the fabric will cut off. Okay, so bring it back to 3. I go just past the stitches, so I go just past the fabric. Needles are out. Take away, lift up the presser foot, and I'm going to pull the fabric off the fork. So those are the 2 prongs that sit underneath. They're called needles, but it's a fork. And then push the fabric back underneath like that. Press the foot down, and that's how we go around the corner. There we go. Do not cut your stitches. You'll end up with a hole. Cut the stitches, cut the corners, don't cut the stitches. Cut away the bulk of the quilting. And be careful when you do this, because you've got pins in there, haven't we? I should have made this hole bigger. Make your hole bigger, about 15 centimetres, guys, because I've got pins in here that are going to probably stab me. Really, I should have used those safety pins, shouldn't I? I can hear some of you going, told you so, Abby. For 2 more jobs. First job is to sew a line there, so that we can do things like put small objects in there and books in there and a little chocolate treat in there. But don't tell anybody that. It's our secret. Okay, that's the first job, and then I'm going to press this down. I'm going to do a top stitch on there, and it doesn't matter that it's a top stitch. You can do a hand stitch if you would like. It's going to be hidden on the back, so if you do a hand stitch, do a ladder stitch. Okay, let's go and give it a press. Lift that up for a sec. I'm going to fold that in. I fold that in. So let's do a top stitch on there. You can go all the way across or just do a little bit there. Or like I said, just grab a needle and thread and do a hand stitch. And if I put my iPad in there, like that, I know to have it roughly, I can put that there in the middle of that cat. So we're going to dissect that poor thing there. Centre of the cat's nose, and I'm going to line it up there. And this pen will wash away. behind the pocket. So I'm not starting exactly on the pocket. I want that pocket to sit against that fabric. So I'm actually going to start on here first and then sew there. So let's line that up. Let's put down and let's lock that stitch in. And then lock at the bottom. And we're done. And they are 15 centimetres up. So 15 centimetres from the bottom, so along there, and 2.5 centimetres in. So there. That's one button. You can sew snap fasteners on there. You can put Velcro on there. You can do whatever you want to. It's yours. Here's my collection of snaps. Let's see if we can find something to match. I'm going to go for pink because I've used pink thread, and why not? So I need to make sure I've got 4 pegs for the 4 buttons, 2 female and 2 male. There we go. Right. Now the button needs to snap over there. So the peg goes in this side. And I'll put, doesn't matter which ones I do up the top, but I'll put the females up on the top. There we go. Squeeze that in. Make sure you don't get your pocket. So put my hand in the pocket and make sure. Grab that. And this time the peg goes inwards from the inside. Like that. Pop the other piece on. And there we go. Just check they work. Yep. 2 snaps. And there we are, done.